Good morning, just about. And it's Monday, May Bank holiday. The weather is a bit meh, and I've decided to have a day of sort of sod it, really. Can't be buggered. Don't want to do a road trip or anything because bank holiday roads are going to be too busy, everywhere's going to be packed. And I just thought I'd have a day chilling at home and catching up with things. And I thought we might dedicate today to the Honourable Shison, who you can see over there. Shison hasn't done anything for, how long has it been now? 2 weeks, 3 weeks? He's just kind of sat there. I've started him a couple of times just to get everything turning over and make sure everything's okay. I'm having a nice cup of coffee here, by the way. But I thought today we'll move him, give him a bit of love. I thought I might pop down to the old supermarket in the nearest town, and I fancy a steak for lunch. So take Shison down for that. Drop some fuel into him. So, but first up, I'm going to finish my coffee, and then we'll pull Shison out, thicker, and check his levels and whatnot, and give him a bit of a wash and sponge off. Right, let's see what's going on with young Shison. I really need to do some weeding. And this is the problem when your car lives under trees. Poor chap. Never mind. Right, let's see if he's going to start for us. Oh, this is rather nice. I always forget just how nice he is. Pardon me, muskruffs. Right, you're going to start for me. Oh, you beauty. Good as gold. Let's pull him out so that we can get to the bonnet a bit easier and check some levels. Oh, look at that. He needs some fuel. Any of you lot that drive Rovers, do you get the same thing where the fuel gauge kind of sinks when you turn it off? And it takes about 10 minutes to give an accurate reading again. I guarantee he's got more fuel in that. Bit lumpy. Let's put him out. There he is in his silvery magnificence. We'll have a bit of a walk around. It's a long time since I've showed you this, isn't it? Show you some of the dodgy bits. If you're one of those people that detail your engine bay, you might want to look away now. Right, let's check the antifreeze. Okay at the moment. fine. Levels are all okay, just going to top the screen wash up. And I thought you might like to be reacquainted with Bob, the inexpertly constructed palace of motory delight. Still largely empty. And of course, the newly constructed extension. Tell you what, seeing as you haven't seen him for a while, so we do a little bit of a walk around. So, this is the Honourable Shison, and he is a Rover 25, post-project drive, but pre-facelift. And he's a 1.6 IXL Stepspeed. And he has most of the problems that you would expect, but he also doesn't have some of the problems that you might expect. He's pretty much standard factory spec. He has the Coronet alloy wheels, which are painted clean. He needs a couple of tyres before the next MOT. He's absolutely filthy. This side is better. That tyre needs replacing. Coming up. Ten-disc CD. Bootlight. Clean, isn't it? Oh, I need to do this. Look at this. Dirty Bertie. He has the leather interior, being the IXL. He has the rear armrest. Electric windows in the front. Sports windows in the rear. The fantastic gramophone. Air conditioning. And the Stepspeed gearbox. And I learned something about this thanks to one of the Rover groups the other day. He has, I'll find the breaker. Obviously the Stepspeed is a CVT, continually variable transmission. So it doesn't have gears per se. I've spoken about this before. It's a system whereby, well, it's like electric cars in that it's there's no gears, but you can don't go anywhere. You can bang it across into manual and change gears manually, like so, just by going forwards and backwards. But what I learned from the group is that they're not really gears as such. They're just six, when you go manually, they're just six pre-selected points on the theoretically infinitely variable gear ratio, which is kind of like a gear, really, isn't it? Anyway, let's get back to it. What else have we got? We have a sunroof, and it works. Get that. Oh, more dirty Bertie. And we have headlining, which isn't particularly saggy yet. Okay, so I'm giving him a pre-wash wash, and I'm using what's known as the one bucket technique. Now it's quite advanced, this, and it's only really suitable for people who don't know what the two bucket technique is, and even if they did, have only got one bucket. Oh, fuck it. I've only got one bucket. Rub-a-dub-dub. It's washy time. Now, the remarkable thing here is that I'd forgotten, but I did actually wax this little blighter. Well, bits of him anyway. I remember starting it and thinking, I'll do the rest. And then I didn't. Well, say I didn't. I just haven't yet, that's all. I mean, I'm not dead. I could do it any time I chose to. I could do it today. I'm not going to. I got up too late. And I want to go and buy some steak. Got the cheeky little fellow a bit soapy. There we go. Does he look like a different car? No. He looks like the same little 500 quid shit box. But he looks like a much cleaner version of the same car. Which is good. I haven't cleaned the wheels yet. Couldn't be asked. Okay, well, I'm about to run out of battery, so the next job is I'm going to take this little fellow down to the nearest area of civilization, go to the supermarket and buy myself a steak for lunch and some petrol for Shison. And while I'm there, I will make the important decision. Do I have the steak? Do I make a nice peppercorn sauce? Or do I just have it with Dijon mustard? We shall see. See in a bit. Well, that was a nightmare of fairly epic proportions and entirely of my own making. So, I set off in Shison, who was just there, you may recall, and I set off to go to the supermarket and get some steak. And I got as far as there when I ran out of petrol. Stupid, stupid, stupid. There was me talking about the fuel gauge and there was more in there than was showing, and of course there wasn't. So I ran out of petrol and I didn't have any. And this is a common lane for the cottages, so I'm blocking people going in and out. Fortunately, being a bank holiday, nobody actually wanted to go in or out. So I got my little fuel can, you see it over there, and off I went. And because it's bank holiday, the local garage was closed. So I had to go right down the hill, right into town. And I got my little can of petrol, came back and put the petrol in, cranked it, crank, nothing. Well, I mean, it was cranking, but wouldn't fire. And then the battery went flat. So I had to get my doings out, got some charge into the battery, had a quick look online, and it says that these need a load of fuel to start if you've run them dry. And I only have one fuel can, so off I went back to the fuel station. Had to take a different car because everything's running out of fuel. I'm never getting into this situation again, I swear to God. Came back, put the fuel in, crank, nothing, zero. Looked online again and it says you need a lot of fuel, not just, by now it's got 10 litres in there. And everything I read online was saying that you can get away with 15 litres if you're lucky. you're going to be looking at 20 or 25 more realistically. You can try rocking the car and this, that and the other. I can't bump start it because it's automatic. So off I go in yet another car, which was also running on bloody fumes, for the third trip to the petrol station. And which did I take? Yeah, the third trip was in Henrietta Pie, running on the 27 miles of diesel that was left after last Monday's road trip. Haven't been out in it since. Came back with the third can, put that in, battery's still on charge. And this time I cycled the ignition to prone the fuel pump for 9 or 10 cycles. Eventually heard a difference as it finally picked up some bloody fuel and then started first turn. So I've given him a run and all now seems to be well, but what a nightmare and what an absolute idiot I am. And I haven't had any lunch. I mean, the steak's gone for a bloody burden, isn't it? That's not happening. Ah, idiot. Right, well, I need to eat something, even though it is 3 o'clock. It's going to be a late lunch. So the steamer's on, and basically we're going to have what was going to be tomorrow's lunch today. Steamer's steaming. Turn that down. What do we want? It's around 6. This will cheer me up. These little fellows are Nepalese Momo, and they're a steamed dumpling. So you make them by mincing your meat or vegetables or whatever you want to do. These are a mixture of offcuts of lamb and chicken, minced in with Nepalese herbs and spices. Then you just make a simple flour and water dough, pinch of salt if you like, and using a spoon, take a bit of the mixture, cut out a circle of pastry, and just hand wrap them into, this is the traditional shape, I'm not very good at doing it. And then do that in a batch, freeze them, and then they'll steam from frozen in about 20 minutes. I am starving. About halfway there. Okay, we're good to go. Not easy. Ow! Hot. Not easy doing this one-handed. So basically, you wiggle your way under there, and then you artfully, oh, hold on, I'm going to have to put you down. And there you go. It's 3:30. Finally, I get to eat lunch. Okay, so the next bit of bank holiday fun. My lovely neighbour has just thrown me her power washer that comes out once a year, and I am going to clean this patio, yard, whatever you want to call it. It's the bit in between the cottage and the garden. Call it what you like, I don't care. Geoffrey, let's call it Geoffrey. So I'm going to make Geoffrey nice and clean. And then the next job, which will be later in the week, is to restain this table again, which is a bit of an annual occurrence. But who doesn't love a power washer? Woohoo! Is this the most fun you can have with your trousers on? I think it might be. Well, that's going to have to do for now. Long way from perfect. A very long way. But a hell of a lot better than that. Oh, shut up. That's attention-seeking behaviour, that is. I shall unplug you. So, I'm going to call that a day for outsidey type stuff. It looks as if rain is imminent. And it's not appropriate to be making that sort of noise at this time in the evening. It's, what time is it now? Just gone 6 o'clock, I think. So, I shall move indoors. It's been largely been an arse of a day, as per usual. Oh, the shenanigans with Shison, but there we are. There we are. And she kept talking about opening her manhole. And, and because I'm 12 years old, I found that incredibly amusing.